Okay, today we are playing some games, or we're talking about some games. And Teddy, what's your game?
Well, likened to the last discourse video, which was on arcades, which you know, recommend you guys go watch. This is a nice little nostalgia trip into the arcade era in kind of like our day, but also, we'd love to hear what you guys think about the arcade. I did Ice Climber, which is very arcade-like, but also a home console game.
Mm-hmm.
You ever played Ice Climber?
I have very little experience with it. I'm more familiar with like the little like whatever like 30-second demo they let you play on Smash Bros. Brawl. Remember those? Whenever they had those on there. I think that was one of them, and I think I did play a little bit on there, but I've never actually sat down and played a full game of Ice Climbers. Or tried to at least.
So, I kind of rushed it this week to find a game to play because I haven't finished a couple of the bigger games that I've played, but I downloaded Ice Climber on the Switch online service. It's not actually one through the NES Online. It's actually
it's the Arcade Archives.
Arcade Archive, which
is
has a
also
couple of unique features.
It's
Sorry.
also what my game is through the Arcade Archives. So we followed the same trend.
Well, look at that. It's the Arcade Archive edition.
Okay,
I
so
think there's
what are
some
the
interesting
features?
things about the fact that it's Arcade Archive because it's not just the standard arcade game. They give you some modes. They give you I think the main ones here are like high score modes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting. I gotta admit, I was a little underwhelmed with this one.
How do you play Ice Climbers? What's the game about?
So there are 24 maps, interestingly enough, but I don't think any of them are really map worthy. There's layers, 1 through approximately 10, I think, on each map, and there's different challenges to get to the top. You have to jump on top of clouds that are moving from right to left. If you've ever played Mario Bros, not the Super Mario Bros, it has that similar kind of, our favorite word, aesthetic, where you go from left to right on the wall, and then you end up on the other side of the screen.
Okay. Does that have the same game feel as Mario? You know how they're kind of slippery?
Yes, very slippery. In fact, some slopes, I don't even know if you can call them slopes because they're all horizontal, but some of the platforms that you're sliding on intentionally will push you a certain way. Some are icy, so you literally slide on them. Some of them I just don't understand. I don't understand why some of them are conveyor belts that move only one way. I don't understand why a cloud appears from the left side of the screen and then goes to the right, but I guess that's the classic style. I don't really mind that. I always thought that was kind of cool how your Mario guy could be on the left and then the right, but
Yeah.
I feel there's a couple maps in here. You have to jump up and hit the platforms, which is how it's kind of similar to the way that Mario Bros plays in the jumping mechanics. The jumping's not smooth at all. It's really hard to kind of force your diagonal jump, and sometimes you need to break a block, and then maybe it's just a cloud underneath you, and then if you fall back through one of the platforms after you've escalated a certain amount, your guy will die. If you touch an enemy, you die. Now you can swing your hammer and try and hit at him, or even with some of these pterodactyl-looking things, which is a cool creature, I guess, for the Ice Climber Mountains. You can jump up with your hammer and bop him in the face and then, crush him. But you only get 2 lives in whichever mode you pick. So you use your 2 lives, and then that's it. Ice Climber's done.
Is there anything that really stood out for you, stood out from this title that you really liked?
I like a couple things, actually. And I'm going to refrain from aesthetic, but it is a good-looking game. Every layer of the mountains are, color-coded, which is kind of cool. Some are brown, some are green, some are blue. I like that it's challenging. I just wish it was a little more balanced, I guess. That might make it a bit more fun. There is some 2-player mode, but I find it very hard to ask someone, when they're over, hey, would you like to play some Ice Climber? No. I would say no. I would probably play a handful of other games before I play Ice Climber with them. Which I wonder what it's like, playing 2-player Ice Climber. You both racing to get to the top of the mountain? I'd have to see it. I also like what do I like? I like that at once you escalate the mountain, there's a bonus stage where it plays like the classic Ice Climbers jingle. Dun 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 dun. All right, I could do this for a while, but anyways,
that's pretty good.
You get 30 seconds to hop on the clouds, make it to the top of the platform, collect whatever fruits are there, and get bonus points: eggplants, peppers, whatever they are. For whatever reason, there's eggplants on the mountain. And you have to jump into the arms of a pterodactyl, and that will clear the bonus stage. You get like 3,000 points for it. I like that idea of bonus points and arcade. On the Switch itself, there's the online leaderboards, which is a really cool feature. And, say you downloaded Ice Climbers, I could probably see what your score is, and then we could compare. And
nice.
I think that would be like a fun little, arcade challenge. But I think that the arcade feel is there. It's fun. There's also the challenge of like how many of these maps can I complete before I need to put another credit in and get the continue, because you get like literal stamps on every map that you clear.
Nice. I always like the way like old Nintendo arcade games look. Like I know I've downloaded a couple of them, like Donkey Kong and DK Jr. Even though I have access to the NES versions, but, like just because the arcade versions always have like a different feel than the console versions. So I'd be interested in trying the arcade version of Ice Climbers.
Mm-hmm. It's a little stiff, and there's a couple maps that I think are not fun. I would like it if there was like some more platforms, and I wasn't like getting caught up on them. Or sometimes the platforms are too many, but I think you should try it. It's an interesting look at like a game that's over 30 years old.
Cool.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Yes. Oh, but I did want to say, I think $8 might be asking a bit much for this. I'm not really sure.
All the arcade titles are around. It's like $7.99.
Yeah, and I think, and if you're paying tax, like,
yeah,
I don't know, for $8, like, you used to get these NES games for $5, so I get that it's arcade or whatever, and that they're like doing a little reworking to it, but
It depends on the title for me. Like and the same thing. Like the Sega Ages are about the same price. So I don't. I guess in that front, I don't really mind as much. It's just the quality of the game you're getting. Like I usually try to make sure I'm getting something I know I'm gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's why when I was looking at the arcade games, I really did try and pick one that I thought would be, a good match for my style. And I don't mind having Ice Climber, but at the end of the day, I am kind of looking for something a little more. But you know what? I have to give it credit. It does have its replay value in terms of the arcade authenticity and high scores and whatever. And if we, compete online, I'd love to see where you stand on the mountain.
Stand on the mountain. The ice mountain.
Yeesh. How far can you climb?
And Smash Bros characters. They're Smash Bros characters, so that's neat.
The first time I played this was in Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
You used to be able to collect NES games on the GameCube. That's a feature they desperately need to bring back. Maybe not. They don't have to bring it back, but I would love it. Yeah,
that'd be cool. That's a nice little footnote.
It was the first game I got after Clu Clu Land. Yes, I got the fucking Clu Clu Clan NES machine, and it all went downhill from
there. No wonder. Yeah.
No wonder the resentment, right? It's just it's age old.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Wait for the arcade archive Clu Clu Land.
It's there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's on there.
Don't tell me this. I don't
it's on there. You can go pay $8 for it.
Down. I can't hear you.
Oh Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the volume back up.
Okay.